So after Canelo's loss to Terence Crawford, he has now got two more fights, only two more fights with Turki Al-Sheikh in his contract. And this makes things very interesting in my opinion. And I'm going to go through a potential plan that might happen. And this could be the retirement plan for Canelo Alvarez as well. I think it's clear to see he's not at his best anymore. He's far his best. You know, he's still a guy who has got quite a bit in him though, but when you're not at your very best, it's time you start thinking about stepping away. And Canelo's been a pro since he was 15 years old. He's now 35. He's been in the game for 20 years. So I think we all know this could be time for him. And I'm going to go through a potential plan for him. Obviously, you know, we'll start with saying that at super middleweight, Canelo is now ranked number one. That's what in the WBC. That is what has happened now since his loss to Terence Crawford. So this now makes things interesting, in my opinion, for who he fights, because I think he needs to ideally retire on a bang. I don't think so. I think for his next one, I don't think he should go up against, you know, the biggest name. I don't think there's any need for it. You know, it's Canelo. He can sell a fight on his own. His name can do that itself. So right now we got Christian Mbile as the interim WBC champion. That could be a potential fight that Canelo takes next. But he would have to wait for a rematch with Christian Mbile and Lester Martinez, because that has now been ordered. So if Canelo does want to wait, which you never know, could be a good idea for him to do, possibly wait to see who wins the winner of Mbile and Martinez in the rematch, that is a potential option for him, in my opinion. But if he wants to fight for the interim WBC title, he's going to have to sit out. He's going to have to wait. And again, that could be something that does benefit him. If we're being honest, it probably would, if anything. So I then look to a possible Hamza Shiraz fight for Canelo. And look, I don't think Canelo's said quite a few times, oh, yeah, I want to fight in the UK, want to fight in England. You can do a Hamza Shiraz fight in the UK. Definitely. And again, Hamza Shiraz isn't the biggest name. You know, he can sell tickets in the UK. Worldwide, he's not the biggest name. But again, no, he did just do a main event with Edgar Berlanga in America. So you never know. Something could be done. Something could be done. You then bring in Chris Eubank Jr. to the situation for what could be next. But again, he's got that fight with Conor Benn. I don't know what Chris Eubank Jr.'s fully got left in him. It's one that I think Canelo would definitely win anyway. I think Canelo beats Shiraz. I think he beats both Mbile and Martinez. And I think he, of course, beats Eubank Jr. So I think he'd be completely fine in all of those fights, if I'm being real. I feel like Canelo would be completely fine in those fights. I then look to Jamal Charlo possibly next. And then it's like, again, they've been in talks before. Canelo's obviously beaten Jamal. Could that be in the plan? I don't know. It's not a fight I'd be dying to see, though. But it could be potentially. And Charlo's not the biggest. He's not. He is one of the biggest names that you can do it with. But again, he's not one of the biggest contenders right now. That's what I was trying to say. But again, my final one of what could be next is Diego Pacheco. And again, Mexican, but again, not the biggest name. But again, someone coming up, someone who could be a threat. But again, I back Canelo to win all those fights. But again, I think Jamal Charlo, looking at that again, Jamal Charlo is the biggest name out of the guys I've said and could be the best contender out of all of them. But again, he's not the highest contender right now. He's just way too inactive for it. That's the thing with Jamal Charlo. Okay, so it could be something like that for the next one. I then look to Canelo's final fight with Turki Al-Sheikh, and the one I think is David Benavidez. That's what I think. It's going to be difficult to do though, but that is, I think, what's got to happen. And from what we've been hearing from Benavidez, it seems like he still wants to fight, though. I don't think Benavidez is against taking the Canelo fight whatsoever. Let's be honest, he's not. Can he still make super middleweight? It's the question. They might need to go catch weight for it. I mean, Canelo can be, he can make light heavyweight anyway, but that puts him at a disadvantage, whatever. But it's got to happen. It's a real shame if both Benavidez and Canelo end their careers and they haven't fought each other. That it would be a real shame. It would be a real shame. So something's got to happen. Something has got to happen between those two. If not, I've seen your person throwing around Canelo and Crawford rematch. That's not something I want to see. That's not something I'm asked about seeing. I couldn't care less. I don't want to see it again. It was too one-sided. Canelo will lose again. Canelo will lose again. Look, if it's not David Benavidez, what I wouldn't mind is seeing Yanni Beck move up to super middleweight and seeing him fight Canelo. And I want it in Canelo's last fight. I want to see him in a big, dangerous fight. And Yanni Beck is dangerous. Yanni Beck is dangerous. Yanni Beck could beat Canelo. Canelo's got the advantages over him, especially if it's at 168. But again, like, you don't know. Crawford was able to move up basically 3 divisions and beat him. And Yanni Beck would only be moving at 1. But again, Yanni Beck's not as skilled as Crawford, but Yanni Beck's got a lot of things that Crawford doesn't. Crawford's got a lot of things that Yanni Beck hasn't. So again, that's something that makes it interesting. But I would like to see Canelo and Yanni Beck. I'd like to see Canelo and David Benavidez. I can't really think of any two else that I would want to see in final fights for Canelo. But this could be an interesting plan, and I wonder what Turki Al-Sheikh's going to do. Obviously, he's the brains behind all of it. What will happen? But I hope the right decisions are made with what we do here. But I think this could be very interesting to see. I mean, what would have surprised me is possibly Turki Al-Sheikh sticking Canelo in with someone like Bruno Saras next or something like that. Bruno Saras versus Canelo could happen next, and it would main event in Saudi or something like that, and it could do all right because, you know, Canelo's got that name, and I don't think his stock's gone down from losing. Anyone's going to tune into a Canelo fight, but times right now are looking interesting. Times right now are looking really interesting to see. But yeah, that's what I think the potential plan could be. It's going to be interesting to see when we see more, but it does look like Canelo is going to be fighting again. Whether people like that or not, Canelo will be fighting again. He's not going to want to turn down 2 more big paydays from Turki Al-Sheikh. Of course not. No one would. Anyway, thank you for watching the video. Second video in the new crib. Anyway, thank you for watching.